ain't gon' bounce. Got it out the mud, my nigga.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy, Ja, founder of Voice of the Streets, man. I got an exclusive interview with y'all, man. I wanted to bring something close to home right here, man. This gentleman that is, doing this thing, he's the proprietor of BayAreaEventz page, man. I want to allow him to introduce himself and kind of just introduce himself to, maybe people who don't maybe know a story or, who's running the page or whatever the case may be, man. This is what this interview is about right now, man, giving y'all that inside info and all that, man. What's up, brother? How you doing today? Man, I'm all good. I'm all good.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure, man.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, man. So let's get right into it, man. So where are you from, and like how did you find yourself kind of, I could say like documenting or just being on social media, creating like a presence, like what got you into that?
So I'm from East Oakland.
Okay.
I grew up in Brookfield. And then
Can I have you sit up a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I grew up in Brookfield, and then you feel me, I moved to Hayward. So I kind of split time between the two.
Yeah.
My thing, I got into where I'm at now. It's really like a real life journey because I've always been in computers. Like I had like the second Mac computer that was ever made.
Right.
So growing up, I've always been into tech, and even like at Hayward High, like I built like my first website when I was like 13.
Yeah.
How I got into what I'm doing now is because I was working at Google for a time, and I was doing social media management for the Google glasses. I don't know if a lot of people remember that.
The spectacles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was actually working on that project.
Okay.
And I got into like a social media space where I'm doing like technical analysis and everything through there. But after that contract ended, I ended up going to another company, and it was I wasn't doing the social media thing.
Right.
So I was like, all right, well, how can I still fulfill my passion, but at the same time, still like
do what you want to.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm doing like what I do as far as like analysis stuff, but I still want to do what I love.
Yeah.
So my brother, Bayarea Foods, as we might all know, he was like, look, like you like partying, you like being on the scene, like just make a party page. And I was kind of like lagging on it. And then I went to LA, and it was Easter. And when we went there to the club, it was lit.
Yeah.
Like one of the most lit parties I ever been to. And I'm like, well, I found out about this place because it was just word of mouth. Like, I'm very social. Like, oh, where's it at?
Right.
But what if you're not social and you want to know where it's at?
Exactly.
And I thought, like, well, what if people come to the Bay and they don't know where it's at?
Exactly.
Let me be that person. I want to be that disruptor. I want to be that Craigslist. I want to be that Apple. I want to be that Uber, Airbnb. I want to be the person where if you're going to find out where the party is at, you come to me first.
Yeah.
And I think that from there, people just it just took off.
Right.
Like, okay, where the party at? Or is this where it is? Is this where it's at? And it was essentially my passion, and it exploded because I would think that it being in the San Francisco Bay Area is like one of the most biggest markets behind like New York, Chicago.
Right.
People come here, Golden Gate, we know all the tourist attractions, but okay, I didn't ate. Where the party at?
Exactly.
And there was no, it was like a void. And I'm like, well, I can be that, I can fill in that space.
I can provide that. Yeah.
And once I did that, and it's just like posting parties, events, pop-ups, anything, people just started going to me as like a go-to person.
Right.
And it took off like a rocket.
Right. So you said you built, I'm going to go back to what you said earlier. You said that you built your first website at 12, 13 years old?
Yeah, I was 13. My first website was 2 Lonely Androids, and it was built on Dragon Ball Z.
Wow. What made you, like a young black man growing up in East Oakland, to be like, man, I'm going to do tech, and like, I love doing tech, or, let me create this website at 12, you know what I mean? Like that's a really rare occasion type thing.
I would say that it goes back to my parents.
Yeah.
My mom and my dad. So there, and it goes full circle.
Right.
So when I was in the first grade and I'm at Brookfield Elementary, and they're like, oh, we have a computer program where you can take home a computer. So at this time, this is 1991, keep in mind. So Apple that we know now that's in the stores and everything, that's not Apple back then. So Apple is kind of like the hustler, like, okay, well, can we put our computers in your school? We giving out computers. Like, just give us a try. Give us a
try
try.
it, yeah.
And my parents is like, oh, they giving out computers. Oh, all right, come on, let's do it.
Right.
So I bring the computer home. I set it up. I'm playing Where's Carmen Sandiego. I'm doing Oregon Trail,
Right.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the second year that they did it, oh, come on, we doing it.
Right.
So now at this point, it's like I've done the games and all that. Okay, well now how does it work? What's the internal programming? How can I build the system that is running Carmen Sandiego?
Right.
So, you know, because I'm always thinking
like a core processor almost.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So that's what it was.
Right.
So after that, it was just pretty much like it just took off from there.
Yeah, just secondhand nature at that point. Just having that understanding. So whenever you was in outside of that, whenever you got older, going to high school, did you end up going to college for for this said field, or is this something you kind of like fell into?
So that's an interesting. That's a good question. So one of the things that I always tell people is that my family, they're Cal Bears. My like cousins, sisters, brothers. They all Golden Bears.
Yes,
Me,
sir.
I did not go to college.
Yeah.
So I'll say this: I went to Chabot for half a semester, and I went there and I excelled, but I just felt like it just wasn't for me.
Right.
And I ended up not going the college route.
Right.
But there's a caveat to that, because what I always tell people is that even though you say, okay, I don't want to go to college, that doesn't mean that you don't have to do the college work.
Right.
So with me, even though I didn't go to college, I still did other things.
Yeah.
Certifications.
Right.
I'm still
dotting your T's, crossing your I's.
Exactly. So when I worked at Apple, I actually worked at the Apple store, and from there, I'm in there, I'm ear hustling, I'm eye hustling the whole time. Okay, well, we have a training at the Cupertino. Oh, sign me up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, well, this person is coming in. Okay, what did they do to get there? Okay, well, let me, so from there, it's just anytime it's a certification, anytime there's type of classes, sign me up.
Okay.
Oh, you got sign me up, sign me up. So even though I didn't go the college route, I went a different route.
Right. Applied yourself, really.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't just say, and this is what I want people to know, is that college is not for everybody.
Right.
If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to college.
Exactly.
You want to be a dentist, college. You want to be a rocket, college.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into like a tech space, you don't necessarily need college.
But you need the education, though.
You're still gonna need the hard work.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, well, I'm not gonna. You still gotta be a culture fit. You still gotta, you still gotta be able to learn and adapt. You still gotta have that proactive. You can't be reactive.
Yeah, you gotta bump your head a couple times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the Bay Area. Like, this is what I like to say is that Bay Area is kind of like with LA. People go to LA to be actors for movies. People go to New York to be actors for like stage play. People come here for tech. Right. So you can't just pop in and say, well, I'm here. Hey, give it to me. No, you still got to be him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to make it, yourself, your business, whatever, into that entity to where everybody's going to respect and everybody can support it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? The hard work is what people going to respect. The real people going to respect the hard work. Exactly. Other people going to love seeing, Steph Curry hit the shot, but they not going to love watching him train, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And the time it takes to go into that, Yeah, I understand that 100%. So with the different certification, everything that you got, everything was still based around, like tech and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Everything was still based around tech.
Yeah.
So think of tech like sports. Right. Where it's like, well, I want to be an athlete when I grow up. Mm-hmm. That's like, oh, well, I'm going to tech. There's so many different sectors. So it's kind of like, I'm a data analyst.
Yeah.
So I'm the type of person where if there's a problem, I need to find out, okay, say if in here something is down, I need to figure out why is it down for you, if it's down for other people in here, and what's the root cause. Right. And if it is down for everybody, how can I write up a report to say if this happens, you don't need to come to me.
Right. This is how you're supposed to do it. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it's everything that I've done has usually been around like the tech sector. So tech sector. Yeah. So. Yeah. I was more like a managerial type of person where I just oversee what everybody else is doing.
Right.
But then I got to the point to where I was like, well, you know what? I want to get more even more technical. I want to know. I want to be fully polished.
Right.
Because you can have the managerial side where it's like somebody is just do this, do that.
Right.
But then they don't know the intricacies
Yeah.
of why this is not working. Like you can be a taskmaster all day and
Right.
mark orders, but if you don't really get in the trenches,
to know what's going on. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. You got to know firsthand what's going on. That's going to make it a whole lot different. Then you're going to be able to help out people understanding what they're doing, you know, perfecting their job, and then also you perfecting your job by understanding
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is there like I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not, but is there like a lot of black, you know, men, women in tech? Like,
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna keep it 100.
yeah.
Could you? We gonna keep it 100.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's not. And so I'll say like this: I went into the office. I probably been in my office probably like 3 times since 2020, just because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
And when I went in like a couple weeks ago, it was literally only me. Like I'm literally like the only black dude that's in there.
Right.
But I would say that it's not necessarily because of certain people don't like they're not looking for us, but it's just that I don't think that we're not looking for that as well.
Yeah.
And it could be that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you have like the knowledge and you show that you're like a culture fit and this, that, and that, like they'll slide you in.
Right.
Another thing about that is it's all about connections.
True.
Your network is your net
Worth. Yeah. 100%.
Right? So again, it goes back to what I was saying. When I'm in places, I'm ear hustling, eye hustling. Oh, you got pulled. Okay, well, when you go here, pull me in here. Because tech is a small bubble. As much as it might seem like it's just this large, people, you can literally get into any job off of like just referrals.
Right.
But to go back to what you said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I want to work on is just like putting together programs to where like black kids know that this is a sector for you.
And there's money in it too. There's money in it.
Money in it.
Yeah.
But like, I'll tell you this, like if you do go to college, if you take the college route and you go get a computer science degree, the unemployment rate for people with a computer science degree is less than 2%. That's less than any other degree.
Right.
You go into tech and if you want to get a degree in computer science, less than 2%. Because there's so many startups.
Right.
You can go the startup route. You can go the Google route.
Right.
You can go like the people who are private, about to go IPO. You can go to IPO that was about to go private.
Right. You can help out storefronts, you know, everything.
Bro, there's so many different routes that you can go. And I just think that with our youth, they just don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah, it's not really broadcasted like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. I remember I want to say it was for sure pre-COVID. I remember I went to, I want to say it's in Fremont or something like that, but it was like a polytechnical school, you know, it's called Coswell Polytechnical School. And, you know, for me, when I went in there, I spoke with the kids and everything like that. And when I went in there, it was just dope to see, like, you know, they're making like animation sculptures. They're creating these programs with code and all this stuff. And it's just like, it's blowing my mind. And then I'm asking like the principal and some of the teachers, like, you know, like, what is the program as far as like getting them into the job after that? And, you know, and the lady had, she had brought me like a couple of the students or whatever, and they were already ready to go working Pixar and this and the third. Some of them was on the Star Wars that came out that year. Like, I was like, dang, like it's just crazy to see, like you said, like that referral. Okay, they see that you're doing your job or you're good at it. You know, you work your way in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll say, like, I have a son. He's 13, and because he's my son, he's into technology.
Right.
So he's into video games. Everything, you know, sons gonna always want to be a reflection of their father.
Exactly.
It's natural.
Yeah.
So like, I'm asking him, like, well, what do you want to do? What is it that you know, because you're in the 8th grade,
Right.
you got to start thinking about this stuff now.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I want to be, I want to be a programmer. Like, I want to be able to build my own games.
Right.
This is what I want to do. Okay, so now our next steps is, okay, let's get you a computer. We're going to get you in classes and you can do stuff on your own, because I want to see if this is really your passion.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because a lot of people will say that, oh, I want to do this, but then once you get into it, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this
It's a little harder
work.
than you thought.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just think that when it comes to like technology and everything, it's the future. So like how you said, you see a lot of kids and you go in there and it's like, well, whoa, like this is something, like, how do you know how to, and 30, 40 years ago, and people are talking about cell phones. It's like, well, shit. And then now we got facial scan,
right?
Fingerprint scan. You know,
you
Amazon
can face call somebody.
Amazon is doing the thing where you can go into the store and just wave your hand, and it's, you know, so
wow.
You know, that's a whole nother
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
We get into some Black Mirror type of shit, but you know,
it's happening though.
Yeah,
especially Texas. I've been seeing that going on. People just been paying for stuff with the little scan thing.
Yeah, and you know, it'll probably get to the point to where you know, they're restricting things, and you know, right now they make it seem fun, and you know,
but it's really not, because a lot of people living off of the dollar, and whenever they cut that dollar out and they just make it more digital, it's bad for the most. I mean, like, I'm talking about the low class, you know, some middle class people are living off of those dollars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might be getting paid digitally, but they need that money for the gas or for the little quick food or whatever the case may be. You know, so like, I think it's in Switzerland or something like that, but they're doing it to where there's no cash. You know, do you think like a society like that is you know, could thrive?
I think so. Yeah, I think it could thrive because, so my favorite subject is history, right? So when we go back, if we go back 150 years or so, give or take, we were all using coins at one point.
Right.
There was no dollar.
Right.
And then it went to, okay, now we're doing like the digital bills, and now it's going towards, and then people were doing checks.
Right.
So it's slowly, you feel me? Like, it's slowly going to digital because a check is cash,
right?
But it's not really, because it's still going through a process.
Right.
So I think that eventually, yes. And I'm not saying, like, if they just said tomorrow that, oh, no more cash,
right.
Of course it wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a gradual thing.
What's crazy is that I had 2 incidents that happened to me over the last 48 hours. So I went to like a fast food restaurant, and I just saw the sign. And yeah, I've been seeing this since COVID. And it was like, oh, no change.
Right.
And then me and my lady went to Lake Chalet last night, and I'm leaving. And then I have a lady like asking, hey, do you have any money? And I'm like, well, I'm thinking like, damn, I don't have cash. I haven't had cash in like
a while. Yeah.
So I think that what's happening, and this goes into like even like the whole COVID thing,
right?
And I'm not no conspiracy theorist, but you can see, like, when you look at like the baby steps and how it goes, like, okay, well, COVID is happening. Okay, well, we're not accepting cash anymore.
Right.
If we do have cash, have exact change. So that's kind of like, well, if you're gonna drive here, make sure you have 15.4 gallons.
Right.
In the car.
Right.
So you can kind of see it.
Yeah, it's a slow change. Slow change. Yeah.
And it's just like one of the good examples I like to use, and when you change society, it's like babies and old people, little kids and old people. When it's a little kid, you have to tell them, okay, it's time to get up.
Right.
It's time to get ready.
Right.
Time to eat breakfast.
Right.
Time to do this. Time to do that. And then eventually they're ready. Okay, I'm not going to. Old people who are like senior citizens, okay, we got to get your food ready. We got to do this. It's time for a shower.
Right.
So I feel like with society, like with as far as like the currency change,
right.
Okay, guys, so it's cash.
Right.
Gotta have exact cash. We're not accepting cash.
Right.
We're only self-checkout.
Right.
Only accepting ATM.
Come
only
on.
accepting debit.
Yep.
No more cash. If you only have a 20, no more ones. No more.
Right.
Like
most places they've been not accepting like $100 bills, stuff like that. You know.
Bro, I was at the Raiders game last year for my birthday in November, and got to the front and no cash, digital only. Like the whole shit.
Everything.
If you want food, you want this, you want that, digital. So, I think it can thrive? Yeah, because I mean, yeah, eventually.
Essentially, people are gonna get used to it.
You just can't say, "Oh, no more cash." But if you look at it next time, like even McDonald's, all that, like you go to any of these places, card, no cash.
Okay, so let's get back to the page, right? So you said that you want to create something where if people aren't out here tourists or around the way, they know where to go. So from that point, do you feel like now it's kind of taking on a life of its own, or you feel like you're kind of still keeping it right where where that vision was at in the beginning? Because sometimes things grow and they fester into other things too.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's a good thing to grow.
No, so I think that in the beginning it has changed. Because when I was first like posting everything, it was just like strictly like parties.
Right.
And even though like all of my friends are like viral and all that, like it's crazy because like all of my closest friends are influencers.
Right.
But I didn't want to like feed off of like what they were doing. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to get into my own box. Okay, what can I do? So then I started posting just like memes and stuff because I can't, if I post parties every single, you know, like that's with the UI and the algorithm, it doesn't it's like
it's just
so
throws it off. Yeah.
I need people to be in tune until I post the parties.
Right.
So you post memes, you post videos, this, that, and the other, but that keeps your engagement up.
Right.
So now I post parties, I post events, I post pop-ups and stuff, but 90% of the time it's other things that keeps my engagement up.
Right.
So BayAreaEventz is now BayAreaEventz as far as like parties, as far as like events, part of just things that might be happening.
Right.
I mean, we walk outside and there's somebody out there throwing hands.
Right,
Like, well,
right,
hey,
right.
it's a Bay Area event, you know?
Exactly.
And I think that what my vision, of course, is that now I'm trying to move on to like expand into different platforms. Because if it's one thing that I know is like you don't put yourself in one box, because Instagram is a fucking hater.
Yeah.
Instagram is the biggest hater on earth.
Yeah.
Right? They will restrict you. They will flag you for certain things that they feel like you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So now I'm trying to move on to like Twitter. So I'm about to hit 5,000 followers on Twitter.
Right.
I'm moving on to YouTube. And my ultimate goal is just to be like somebody who's given my personal insight into Bay Area events,
Right.
reactions. What is my take on this? And it might not be right or wrong, but a lot of people like my opinion,
Right.
you know, and they just want to see like, hey, what do you think about these two that just robbed a Brinks truck? Like, why do you think that they did that?
Right.
And it's not even like, well, why did you know, you want to get money.
Yeah, it's just
why?
It's giving it a story, giving it it's a topic, something to talk about. It's like bringing it to the attention, bringing it to the forefront. You know what I mean? Yeah, I understand that 100%. You know, I do. So like, so with these events, so are you like sponsoring these events, or are you like somehow connected to the events? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how does that work out?
So with me, I usually get paid for like hosting and promoting.
Okay.
I haven't actually. I think I probably threw like 2 events.
Okay.
But more so, it's just like I'm promoting.
Okay.
Because of the fact that I'm 37, so I was a big time partier where I'm out every single weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But I slow down a bit, so I pop out every now and then.
Right.
But I still have my ears to the streets.
Right.
Like my young partners, they throw parties.
Right.
I know all the promoters. I know all the owners. So if it's something that I feel confident in, I'll push it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But like I really don't party that much anymore. But when I do pop out, you know, and if I do recommend it, then
it's gonna get posted.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So like, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy to say, but what if like something like a magazines or, you know, merchandise, stuff like that, like different kind of things like that, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
So I feel like if it's like so all right, first and foremost, I'm not gonna promote anything that I don't feel confident in.
Right.
So if you say, hey, DJ, can you promote my party? This is my first party. Okay, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
But if it's like something that's just like, I'm looking at it, you ain't got no dates on the flyers, you ain't doing this, you ain't got to do,
Right.
like I have to feel confident in what you're doing, and I have to feel that you're confident in what you're doing in order to push that.
Right. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if the event goes bad, it looks bad on everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Everybody that's involved. You know, that makes 100% sense. So now, kind of like I feel like now. Because so for one, I'm still like in the back of my mind, I'm still kind of thinking like how small is that number of black people in tech? Like you said, you walked into that one room and it's just nobody. But like when you were at Google, are you seeing the different, familiar faces or whatever? Are you like, how small is that number though, for real? You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm just really thinking about, I keep trying to think of like an example of like something I can reference to be like, okay, I remember, or I know these people, or this group of people went there, or whatever the case may be. Like, it's nobody.
Best way I could, man. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, man. Jay-Z, Domino.
Because it's just not marketed to us.
You go up,
yeah.
The higher you go, the lower. Yeah, it's
yeah. Because this is not marketed to us. I feel like because again, it's hard work, but everything's hard work. You know what I'm saying? But if you love something, you're passionate about it. You're not even thinking about the work you're putting into it.
So I think that. I'm gonna keep it 100. It's just that you have it's the core family,
right?
It's the core family system. As far as like a black family, like you have to be able to project that,
right?
So again, my son sees me in tech,
right,
and he knows what I do,
right?
So he's naturally gonna be into that,
right?
But if he didn't have that there, then what would he want to do?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and when you get into tech, like all of my friends that's like black and white tech, they've all have like similar like backgrounds. Like they know like, okay, I'm getting pushed this, I'm getting pushed that. So a lot of parents, like say, oh, I put a basketball in their hand.
Right.
I put this in their hand, this and the other. Okay, well,
give them something different. Give them something different besides the ball. Yeah,
exactly. And like even like with my son's mom, she even say, oh, well, he wants to play football and this and the other, but that's not like, there's different routes. Like it's not when it comes to like black men, it's not always sports.
Right.
Like we can use that. No, that's definitely, you can use that to get to a certain place. But I think that, I'll be all right. So let me give you an example. So I became a manager at a medical tech company I'm at right now. And my mentor, she's a white woman. And we opened up a job position, and it was like an entry-level tech spot. And I asked her, like, well, a lot of the people for the entry, why is it not I don't see a lot of white people applying for this position.
Right.
And she said, because, that's a good question, because the way that they're going for these upper parts. And with these lower positions, it was not a lot of white women, but it was a lot of white men. Because it's just a different understanding. I'm like, well, why aren't black people applying? And she was like, well, because they probably just don't know.
Right.
And if you don't know, then you just, my dad said there's a scholarship. He got a scholarship because he's left-handed.
Right.
Real shit.
Yeah, that's
he got
amazing,
a scholarship because he's left-handed.
Right.
But how the fuck would you know that if you're not left-handed, or if you're not telling people that?
Yeah. That information is important. Like, I remember I think it was high school, and I remember they was teaching us about like how people can get PhDs and stuff. It's just like discovering something. You go outside, just find something on the ground, and ain't nobody ever seen before. And let's say you studying that, or you taking a trip abroad or whatever, and you go discover a vine or whatever the case may be. That's a new species. You just got a PhD.
Exactly.
Something as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but they make it seem like, it could be just a person or just the lack of knowledge. But it's just like, they make it seem like it's hard to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really
all
not.
that shit. I feel like, man, I don't give a fuck what career you going into.
Right.
Everything is gonna take hard work.
Right.
You can go my route. You could go the college route.
Right.
You could go I'm gonna go this route.
Independent, whatever. Yeah.
Takes hard work. You know. But what I would say, and I want to get back on this, is like if you're black and you want to get into tech, all you got to do is just start. You can start somewhere.
Right.
If you're going to start off like as a tier 1 level entry support,
right,
you do that and you show you hungry, then you can move up the ladder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not, I know there's roadblocks. I know there's certain people that, we don't want this.
Yeah.
But if you put in that work,
they gonna
guarantee.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if they don't, you still keep growing.
Yeah, because somebody is gonna see that stuff. You know what I mean? Somebody is gonna see the work that you're putting in. Somebody gonna see the time that you're taking. You know what I mean? Like it's just with anything. Starting a business, like you're not gonna make $1 billion off your first month or your first year. You know what I'm saying? You got to really put in the work and give people time to see who you are and see what the business is and everything else, and go from there. You know what I'm saying?
And that's. I was just telling her. We just read a quote together. It was like, the beginning is always the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you get in there, and even if you do get into a spot and you do get into tech and you get in there and you like, damn, it ain't nobody in here like me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, shit, it ain't nobody like me. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what you do is like, you still do you, because at the end of the day, like once you show your value and once you like do your own thing, if they ain't fucking with you, man, if somebody not fucking with you, they not fucking with you.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah.
It don't matter what you do. like Tupac said, niggas gonna hate you for whatever you do. So
Yeah,
if you get in
exactly.
a spot and you doing good, they gonna hate you because you feel like you're doing too much. If you
Right.
slacking off, oh, well, fuck him because he's slacking off.
Right.
But I really do want to, like, in the long run is just like have like a tech program.
Yeah.
Even if it's just simple shit. This is how you check your hard drive. This is how you know this.
Yeah, start teaching. Yeah, teaching everybody. You know what I mean? Because again, that's what's lacking. I feel like if we have more classes, opportunities, programs, things like that was available to us, like, man, come on now. Like I remember going to school when they had the computers and we had a computer class, but it wasn't like something that was like broadcasted or like, oh, this is something cool. It was just like, oh, it's computer class. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it didn't even make me interested, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning, you know, but then when I start seeing like how everything started changing and people start using their phones and the computers and the streaming, and I'm like, wow, I'm like, okay, it's getting big now. You know, now we got Silicon Valley out here with the, you know, with Uber and YouTube and all these different things that's from out here, you know, Lyft and shit that's out here, you know,
everything,
PayPal, you know,
everything is out here.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to say, because I don't want people to think that because you're in the Bay Area and everybody's getting into tech, well, it's too late. It's never too late. Like, everything is growing. Like, we're in a digital society. Everything is growing.
Right.
Like, get in and do your thing.
Yeah.
Man, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like I would say, like you. I asked you before, how long you been doing podcasting?
Right.
How long you been doing this? I'm pretty sure that before you've been doing this, it's other different podcasts.
Right.
But you don't let that discourage you.
Exactly.
You know what? Let me still get on my grind. Let me still reach out. Would you like to come on? Would you like to come on? Okay. No. Yeah. Come on.
To be honest, I started with a phone. I just sit my phone down, but without all the cameras, lights, I sit my phone down, just sit there and just talk. You know what I mean? We'll just have a little thing, and I have record my stuff like that, and then put it out like that. You know, and I just started like slowly envisioning it to being something more than what it is, and we just kind of like just grew. You know, that's what it is. So yeah, it's hard work. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. No matter what. That's what I want to dedicate this episode to. Hard work, and getting more black people into tech, because like I've just seen it as a trend right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what it is. Like whatever it is that you want to do, even if it ain't tech, like just focus on that shit, be passionate about it, and just give it your all. You know what I mean? Like all of what we saying is that what you want, you can achieve it if you just put in the right steps, you put yourself around the right people. You know, all these different things, and that's going to be able to make your opportunities bigger and better for yourself. That's all we saying. That's basically what we saying. You know, that's all we saying.
That's real shit. And motherfuckers be like, this another thing that I was thinking is like, when, even like you said, even if it's not tech and you just want to get something, right? Motherfucker, I'm trying to get a bag. I'm trying to get a bag. It's not that hard to get a bag.
Yeah,
in the Bay Area. Like all you got to do is just basically show what you're talented in, network,
right,
and then learn how to monetize.
That's it.
You're good into podcasting. I'm good with the Instagram and the social media stuff.
Right.
Okay, let's connect.
Right.
Let's make something happen.
Exactly.
Boom, you got your thing. Okay, I can talk about, okay, well, let's get this computer programming class.
Right.
Like,
right.
it's not that hard.
It's really
like
not.
the bag will come. All you have to do is just monetize your skill and put work into your skill.
Right. I think that's another thing I feel like is lacking, is people don't be seeing like how to monetize it, or they see it as like almost impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I got to do all this stuff to make it. It's like, man, if you just don't put your blinders on and just go ahead with it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, at the end of the day, like you said, it's about the networking. It's about who you know, what you know, and your talent. When people see that you're doing your talent, you prepared, and you know, you got good content. Like, you could be doing anything, but if you got good content, good authentic content, everybody's gonna come to you. That's just what it is.
And I'll say, bro, like real talk, I've never met somebody in my whole life who just said, you know what, I put in 150% into what I want to do in life, and I failed. I don't know nobody who
I ain't
did
never
that.
heard that. Yeah,
I know people who be like, yeah, I just made a lot of da-da, and you know, I kind of, my work ethic ain't
distraction,
there, and I kind of, you know, I should. You hear that all the time. Man, yeah, I'm doing good. I could do better, but sometimes I get distracted. But I've never known somebody any race, ethnicity, anything that just say, you know what, I went 150% hard. I done locked myself in a room making 6 feet today for 6 summers,
right?
And I failed.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
It just don't happen like
manifestation is real.
Because and even just to go back, like how you said, you start BayAreaEventz and then it splinters off into other stuff.
All right.
If you go on 150% into what you want to do, it might splinter off into something else. So now you might be doing events, but now you done branched off into, you know, promoting. But now you done branched off into, I'm about to buy a club.
Right.
Now it turned off, I want to do real estate.
Exactly.
So it, you know, like as long as you put in the work, but I think that what happens is that what differentiates people is that the work.
Right.
It's a work ethic.
Right.
You feel me? Like talent will get you so far.
Right.
But
that work ethic,
bro.
What they said, 80% of anything you do only requires what, like 20% talent. The rest of it is all work. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So you can be as raw as you want to be. You only gonna be 20% good.
Nah, for real. Like just, you feel me? One of the things that I've heard, what makes me work so hard is like Richard Sherman.
Right.
You know him?
Yeah,
like how he said, I'm not the most athletic person because I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not athletic, so I gotta spend that extra time studying to keep me ahead of the game. You feel me? Like I would say, like with me, I'm a good problem solver.
Right.
Like technically, like learn. Okay, in tech, I'm not really good like writing up certain things and putting together reports. But I'm a very good problem solver. Yeah,
you can understand
I know
what
if there's
it is. 5
things in front of me, okay, how can I deduce it down to 3?
Right.
Okay, and then I could deduce it down to 1.
Right.
You know? So,
right.
But you just have to have like your skills and own in on your skills.
Right.
And then use that to maximize you to leverage yourself above other people, because you can have a motherfucker that's smart as fuck, but they lazy. You know,
they cheating themselves.
Like they say, man, good work is hard to find.
Oh yeah.
But I say reliable hard work is hard to find.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Because
you could have a nigga that's you could have Michael Jordan, but if you're only suiting up for one game a season,
right?
Then what the fuck is the point?
How good are you then? Right. That's real. That's real, man. That's real. All right, man. Well, let me see. What else could I run past? I feel like we pretty much covered everything. You know, we talked tech. We talked, BayAreaEventz. Is there anything like new coming from BayAreaEventz? Is there anything like,
Yeah. So I'm moving in, like I'm moving into like the YouTube sector. So I'm doing a thing where, like I'm giving like my personal opinion on things.
Right.
And then I'm also doing like a Bay Area plants thing.
Okay.
So plants is something I got into when my mom passed away in 2020.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's good. And because, plants give us life and give us oxygen. So I feel like a lot of times it's like people, they don't have an outlet.
Right.
So like with me, I'm working, but my outlet is the plants.
Yeah.
And so I'm building like a whole, like another page out where I'm teaching people like, okay, this is, if you want these type of plants, buy this. If you want to like build plants off of this.
Right.
Giving people like a hobby.
Yeah.
Because everybody feels like, well, I say a lot of people feel like they don't have like a hobby. A lot of people don't have hobbies, but I just want to show like different, like black men, black people, black women, whoever, that this is something that you get into. It's easy, and it's very like self-soothing.
Yeah.
So I'm working on Bay Area plants, BayAreaEventz. I'm moving that into like the YouTube sector, giving my own personal opinion. I'm trying to work on programs like getting like black youth into like the tech sector.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like my main things right now.
Okay, that's dope, man. I can't wait to see all that stuff coming to fruition, especially seeing more of these young black, children going into that, or at least just being educated about it.
Yeah.
Have the trade, have the talent, and all else fails, going to tech type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at least, the more that they know and the more that they're educated about it, I feel like, it'll help us out a lot as a culture. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. All right, so before we get out of here, we always ask everybody, what's a piece of game that you want to give to the youth?
My favorite quote. My grandfather always used to say, man, hey, whenever we pass by a cemetery, look over there. There's a lot of headstones over there behind women, man.
Yeah.
So, hey, it goes without saying.
Yeah. It's a lot of great ideas in that thing too, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, like we were saying earlier, that didn't put in that work. And then it got, you know, life got cut a little short or whatever the case may be, or just they just never did it in that old age, never just put in they work. And, you know, it's a lot of shit. That's a good point.
I'm saying, don't give up.
Yeah.
But we just saw what happened to the Boston Celtics, man. Hey, man, it's your downfall.
you your only downfall. Your only downfall.
Okay, no, but let me rephrase it. Okay. My number one quote in life is, most traps that we get caught in life are ones we set ourselves.
Yeah.
There we go.
100%. 100%. Because, you know, who gonna trick you better than you? You know what I'm saying? You know yourself. Come on now. I like that. I like that, man. So this, like I said, this one right here is dedicated to that hard work, y'all, to tech. You know what I'm saying? Getting a bunch of y'all into tech, or just being more educated about it, or aware about it. You know what I'm saying? It's on us to put the younger generation on it. Let's do that. Let's come together on that. Any links that I have from you, I'm gonna put into the bio on this one here. Make sure y'all go follow my mans. Come on now, BayAreaEventz. If you haven't heard about it, man, you already have, or you just been under a rock or something. I don't know, man. Like, I mean, man posts all type of events. I'm pretty sure he there, or he chilling, or he whatever he doing. But I'm pretty sure y'all seen this page already, man. So I just had to make sure to give my guy a platform to really speak. I haven't heard no interview and anything like that. So niggas just want to know, you know, who's the man behind the page, man.
Because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're Bayarea."
Yeah, so it's like now, you know, we got a reference point. You know what I'm saying? Good reference point. So, but yeah, man, it's dope interview, bro. I appreciate you coming again, man. Come on now, I love it, man. It's dope. I love seeing, you know, black men succeeding, doing their own thing, bro, and just being happy. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all the bullshit. Just being happy. You know what I mean? Like, we can learn something from each other. We can always teach each other something, but just being happy and just doing what we love. That's all. I love seeing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know, this episode can inspire y'all to do what y'all love and just put in that hard work, y'all. It's your boy Ja, found a voice of the streets, y'all. Peace out, man.
Head out. No head out. No head out. No head out.
Big like nigga, this beat bang on mine.
Got it out the mud, my nigga.